Hi friends, this is Ganesh. Today I am going to discuss the topic deadlock and what are the necessary conditions for deadlock, and I am also going to discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages of deadlock. First of all, let's see what is deadlock. A set of process is said to be deadlocked when each process in the set is waiting for an event which is only caused by another process in the set. For your further understanding, let's take an example. If there are two brothers X and Y, both of them went to a party, then they decided to eat an ice cream. So they went to the ice cream counter, all the ice creams were over, but only one ice cream cup and one spoon were left. X took the ice cream cup and Y took the spoon. So X is waiting for the spoon, that means X is waiting for an event which is only caused by Y. And Y is waiting for the cup, that means Y is waiting for an event which is only caused by X. So there is a deadlock here. Because there is no further progress. Even at infinite time, both X and Y can't eat ice cream. And I am also going to discuss what are the necessary conditions. There are 4 conditions: mutual exclusion, hold and wait, non-preemption, and circular wait. I am going to discuss all briefly about them on paper. Deadlock. When two or more process acquire a lock in such a way that no process can further progress. That situation is called deadlock. Let's say there is a process P1 holding resource R1 and waiting for resource R2 and there is another process P2 holding resource R2 and waiting for resource R1. This is a deadlock because P1 has resource R1 and P2 has resource R2. P1 is waiting for resource R2 and P2 is waiting for resource R1. There is no further progress because P1 is already having resource R1 and waiting for resource R2, and P2 has resource R2 and waiting for R1. So there is no further more progress. This situation is called deadlock. Now necessary conditions. There are 4 necessary conditions. First one, mutual exclusion, hold and wait, third one, non-preemption, fourth one, circular wait. If all these four conditions happen, then there is a deadlock. If all these 4 happen, then there is a deadlock. First one, mutual exclusion means each resource is assigned to at most one process. That means if a process P1 has resource R1, then no other process can assign to resource R1 because each resource is assigned to at most only one process. If a process is allocated to some resource, then that resource can't be allocated to any other process. Now hold and wait. Hold and wait means a process holding resource can request and request more resources. That means if a process P1 has resource as holding some resource R1, then it can request for another resource like R2 thing. In the previous example, in here process P1 is holding resource R1 and is requesting for R2, and process P2 is holding resource R2 and requesting for R1. This is hold and wait. Now non-preemption. Non-preemption means previously granted resource cannot be forcibly taken away. That means if a process P1 is holding some resource R1, then no other process can forcibly take resource R1. If process P1 leaves resource, then another process can take resource R1. If it is holding, then no other process can forcibly take resource R1. Circular wait. Circular wait means there must be a circular chain of two or more processes where each is waiting for a resource held by the next member of the chain. That means there must be a circular chain of two or more processes. There must be at least two processes for circular wait. In the previous example, you can see here there are two processes P1 and P2. Already P1 is holding resource R1 and waiting for resource R2. P2 is holding resource R2 and R1. Here there must be a circular chain. There is a circular chain of two or more processes. Two processes where each is waiting for a resource held by the next member of the chain. Each is waiting for a resource. It is waiting for resource which is held by the next process. This is circular wait. I am going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages. For advantage, sir, no preemption is observed in deadlock avoidance. No delay in the process. Disadvantage, sir, the resource to be used must be known in advance. Second one, blockage of the processes for a long time. Third one, preemption losses are inherited. These are the advantages and disadvantages of deadlock. Thank you.